Welcome everybody to Red Bull Global Rallycross. This is the Power Block and we are here for rounds 5 and 6 in Ottawa, Canada. The first time ever in series history visiting Canada, and what a treat we've had. Some exciting racing so far. Let's check it out.
Ready to go for the first semi-final, and the two Red Bull Hondas on the outside, Colin in the middle. It's Tanner Faust with the whole shot.
Another great line through here. Obviously, we've reset the grid sort of down to the 3-wide situation for these guys in the semis, so a little bit more open on the starts.
Still there. All clear, all clear. Hit your mark here.
The Olsbergs Hondas in second and third. And who you have in those cars is Oliver Eriksson and Mitchell de Jong. You're on board with Austin Dine.
Somebody tapped the tires there.
That was Mitchell. First jump of this first semi-final. And this is a little more orderly with only 4 in this race. And these semi-finals will help determine the start order for the main event on day 1 of this Red Bull GRC doubleheader in Canada.
Yeah, Lee, these semi-finals are really important. This is what sets the grid for the final here. So very important race for these guys to get all lined up for the final, which obviously is the important one. As we see the front 2 take the Joker here. Pretty typical thing. Again, the guys leading the race want to have the most clear track that they can, and to do that, taking the Joker really on.
Oliver Eriksson and Tanner Faust. This is Mitchell de Jong and Austin Dime. Austin was in the mix early on, but he's starting to lose touch a little bit with these Red Bull Hondas in running second and third.
And we start to see, obviously, they groom the track between all of these events and heats and semis, so we're starting to see a lot of water down in the dirt section, it looks like, which is going to be a big change here.
Just thinking back to that heat that we saw, and you were the first to say, look at the smoke coming out of Scott Speed's car. Obviously now we know that was the telltale sign. Do you think something could have been caused by that huge nosedive jump that he did?
Yeah, you never know, right? I mean, these cars are built super tough. It's amazing the forces and the beat and bang these cars can take, but just the right hit at the right angle breaks something, and next thing you know, we've got an engine problem.
Oliver Eriksson, the Swedish teenager, doing a really nice job in his first full season in supercars. Chases out after Tanner Faust, but Tanner's got more than a 2.5-second lead, and that's pretty substantial when you consider both of these top 2 cars have already taken that Joker lap.
And yeah, you've got to ask yourself, if you're Oliver, you're pretty comfortably sitting in either second or third. That's not a bad place to line up for the final. We don't have a lot of time between the semis and the final. You probably just want to execute a good clean race here and wind up with a good car, 100% tack ready to fight the final.
Earlier today, this man, Mitchell de Jong, this is Eriksson, but his teammate Mitchell de Jong, there's Mitchell, had a really thrilling scrap with the leader of this race, Tanner Faust, but Tanner is in a different league at the moment. Look at this, in the Rockstar Andretti Rallycross Volkswagen. He's now more than 3 seconds ahead of Eriksson.
Wow, and I think one of the most exciting things about Red Bull GRC is we had the first couple heats in the rain, started to dry out. Now we see the track pretty well dry on the asphalt sections, but you can really see where all the dirt and debris offline is. So these drivers are facing changing conditions throughout every one of these heats, and keeping up with that from a driving standpoint and setup standpoint is a big challenge.
By the way, this is still, as you see, the Canada Aviation and Space Museum off to the right. That's an additional hangar ahead there. This is still an active airport. It's towerless, but there are still plenty of aircraft that operate in and out of this airport throughout the spring and summer. As you see the various surfaces actually, from first-hand experience, tell us about the actual runways and taxiways. Are they in reasonable shape?
Yeah, they're not bad. There's some spots where they got some grass growing up through, but yesterday in practice we got all that trimmed down ourselves with the race cars, and certainly some spots where there's some bumps, but that's what makes GRC. It's rough, it's bumpy, it's not always perfectly manicured, and that's what makes for some great racing. Wow, a little off the side of the jump there.
Final lap coming up for Tanner Faust. Could not have asked for his last 2 races to be any better. His third heat was just perfect from the start, and so too is semi-final number 1. There's no competition even close, and this is a huge opportunity for the 2-time Red Bull GRC champion to jump into the lead of this 2017 championship.
Yeah, this is a big opportunity for some of these guys, particularly Tanner and Arpin as well. A big opportunity here. but you've got that in the back of your mind. You don't want to blow a big opportunity either, so.
And also, as the checkered flag comes out for Tanner Faust, is he sometimes thinking too, well, my teammate had an engine worry, is that going to come and grab me? So anyway, so far, yeah, it is all thumbs up for Tanner Faust. Green is go for semi-final number 2, and both Subarus with a magical launch. Chris Atkinson's done it not only in his third heat, he's done it in this semi-final as well.
And I almost have to say he's guessing on when the green comes out. That's impressively.
If it's a gamble, it is paying off. Sandell gets tagged there. Sebastian Eriksson being forceful in the Red Bull Honda. Here he comes through on the inside of Sandell.
Great move. Great move.
This is Arpin, Steve Arpin. He's up to third. Sandell's going to be hung out wide, and he is.
And that's what we talked about, getting offline here. You just have no traction. The guys on the line have all the grip. Nothing you can do but get back in line like we see Sandell. So
Patrick has to play catch-up now. Meanwhile, it's his Subaru teammate, Chris Atkinson, out in front. There it is in the blue, black and white WRX STI ahead of the Honda, then the Ford, then the second Subaru.
We should see Atkinson take the Joker this time by, extend that lead out a little bit more.
I know it's all about strategy, and you make your choice whether you do it early or not, but when you're in the lead, is it better to get it out of the way early?
Absolutely, Lee, for sure. You want to get as many unimpeded laps as you can, and you don't want someone else in third or fourth jokering ahead of you early on like that. So perfect call by Subaru.
Let's ride with Steve Arpin.
Here we're all just thinking about trying to get a good jump and then slow down for the hairpin. Obviously, really tight hairpin in the dirt, not a lot of grip, a little bit of handbrake, a little bit of bumping and grinding.
And that view there showed us that it's harder than one might think to do a slide job in there and just push your opponent wide.
Yeah. Got a little view of some good racing going on here for sure between these two.
Who we've lost is Cabot Bigham, who's had a good weekend. Eriksson decides Sebastian takes the Joker. Cabot Bigham, as you can see on the graphic, is out. Not quite sure what happened to the Brian Herder Rally Sport driver.
Now this is going to get interesting, Lee, when Arpin decides the Joker, where these two come out. Obviously they were pretty close together before Eriksson decided the Joker, so this is going to be really interesting here in a couple laps.
Now the JCB Ford, the Lionbro Motorsports car that Patrick Sandell is chasing, it has a little clear space ahead of it, and we know that Steve Arpin got a front row view of what you can do if you time the Joker at the right time earlier today when Scott Speed went flying by him and won their heat race by 1/10 of a second.
Yeah, so I'm sure Arpin's just kind of literally focused on knocking out some clean laps and the Joker at the end and kind of see where it comes out. And he's catching Eriksson anyway here quite a bit. I wonder if something's going on with Sebastian.
Yeah, so he is in a perfect position. Steve Arpin, that is, because you make up around about 3 seconds on that Joker, and he's probably half a second behind at the moment, if that, maybe 1 second behind.
Yeah, just about a second. It looks like the Joker passed him without any stress.
Speaking of no stress, Chris Atkinson, Atco as he's known, in the Subaru is leading by almost 3.5 seconds.
Arpin should Joker here, as he does. That'll clear him into second place. Probably still a little bit off the back of Atco, but...
There you go, easily done. Straight into second place. You hear a lot of cheers there because the man from, well, not super close in this province, but he is from Fort Francis, Ontario. Steve Arpin right there. I think he's got about 70 or 80 guests here today of the team, another 70 or 80 guests tomorrow, so there's a lot of pressure on Steve Arpin to perform on home turf.
He's doing a great job here. Obviously one of the smaller teams against the big factory boys here, so cool to see him running well.
And that's been one of the stories of this year, hasn't it? It's just been, I don't want to say a one-man band because it's a team effort, but it really is. It's the smaller team up against the manufacturers like Subaru. And here we go.
And he sure is the fastest car in this heat. There we go, the slide job action that you talked about, Lee.
Pushing, pushing, pushing. Atkinson's going to have the preferred line here. Final lap. Who's going to win this second semi-final? Arpin has been amazing today. The longer the races have gone on, the better he gets.
Yeah, he's done a really good job here. Kind of the over-under attack here. He's got the inside, it looks like, if he can keep with it.
Oh, he's getting physical. Atkinson tries to turn in and gets sent out wide. Couldn't do anything about it.
He's got the home crowd mojo behind him.
Yes. And Atkinson will just have to follow him home. Wow, Canada's Steve Arpin. Listen to the crowd. They love it.
That was a heck of a drive there, Lee.
Their man pushed his way through to victory. Ready to go. Ottawa, the final, and the Canadian timed it perfectly, or was it just a little too good?
That looked pretty early to me, but man, what a great start by Arpin. Amazing.
And Tanner Faust gets hustled back. It's Steve Arpin who leads the way over the Red Bull Honda, and there was contact there between the Volkswagen and the Honda. Tanner Faust tried to push his way through.
That's tough. You're trying to get such a good run off that corner onto these next two quick laps here.
Let's have a replay of the start. Watch the light and watch the launch of the yellow Ford, the JCB machine of Steve Arpin. We'll see, did he go early? Watch the lights.
Yeah, that looked a little early to me.
And race control has already ruled it a clean start. Well, this is going to script. The Canadian favourite, the crowd favourite, is in front and leading the main event for Red Bull GRC's very first time in Canada.
Still got a lot of racing to go here. Tanner's right in the mix, as well as Dijon.
Mitchell de Jong takes that joker along with Steve Arpin. So now let's see how this plays out over the course of a longer race. Remember, we've just seen 5 cars for 5 laps during the heats. And then here we go all the way up in the main event for 9 cars. Of course, Scott's been on here for 10 laps. Let's see how that plays out over the course of a longer race.
Yeah, you know, we've had 5, 6 car fields for a few laps in the semis and the heats. Here we're going to have 9 cars for 10 laps. We're going to see how these ruts develop, how the racetrack deteriorates over these next couple laps.
Lee Diffie along with Colin Brown. And of course, Will Christian, who we saw at the top of this segment. And Colin, you've just finished your lights main event. We're not going to give away the results because the show's a little later this week here on NBCSN. But what did you see over the course of 10 laps as far as track condition?
Yeah, certainly the track starts to rut up quite a bit, and that makes it a challenge for us drivers to pick the right lines in the dirt. That's one of the biggest keys here. And then the other thing is all the dust and dirt that we've dragged around the racetrack all day sort of gets picked up in the air and hangs in the air. So we had to use our wipers and windshield washer fluid quite a lot, trying to clean those windscreens out, even on the asphalt section.
And before the cars saw the green, you saw that close-up shot going across. Oh, Patrick Sandell is out. The Subaru man, his year has been brutal, and it continues, unfortunately so. What was meant to be 10-car final is now down to 8. And at that start line, you saw that close-up camera shot across the front of all of the cars. They haven't just been sandblasted, they've been gravel blasted.
Absolutely. All this dirt section is a bit of a mix of a tacky substance and bits of gravel. So certainly not great for the paint jobs on these cars.
Steve Arpin better look out because here comes the young Californian Mitchell de Jong. Let's ride with him.
All about getting the power down out of here onto the asphalt.
And the most recent round in Thompson Speedway in Connecticut, this young fellow got on the podium for the first time as a GRC rookie. He drives the Red Bull Honda for Oldsworks, and this is an impressive run. Now, here's the strategy difference. Of the top 5 runners, Tanner Faust is the only one yet to take the joker. He's saving it towards the end.
Starting to see the racetrack create some of those ripple runs there onto the dirt. I think the big thing we've got to watch here, Lee, is the gap from Tanner to Arpin. Obviously, 4.9 seconds right now. It's probably been outside the window of Joker into the lead.
Yeah, it's in the zone of around about 3 or so seconds. Chris Atkinson, as he fights his way through, he just took the joker.
Look at that windshield. That's hard to see out of, isn't it?
Atkinson took the joker, and that's been able to elevate him into the top 4 ahead of Oliver Ericsson. And he begins his chase now after Tanner Faust. So of the top, 6-7 cars, Faust remains the only one yet to take the joker. Rough, rugged conditions here in Ottawa, and a huge crowd on hand to watch Red Bull GRC north of the border for the first time, and they're being treated to a pretty good one here.
And we've got some great fans. We obviously had the driver introductions and things like that. It's great to see all the people come out and support this Red Bull GRC event. And I think we're putting on a pretty good race for them.
Watching this car, Tanner Faust has a shot of taking the championship lead, but does he? He's going to have to do something about Steve Arpin, the man up front, because that gap now is 4.0 seconds. 4.0, so pretty even. If he can make up another second over these next few laps, then that puts Tanner Faust in the zone to pounce with the Joker. We'll keep updating you on that time split.
Well, the other thing to consider too, Lee, is the fact that the dirt's getting more rutted up as you come on the normal racetrack into the dirt section. So the dirt could slow down a little bit here, where the Joker option basically eliminates all that because you're straight onto the dirt. So
from Steve Arpin, Ontario's own Steve Arpin, who won the most recent round in Connecticut, his gap back to the third place Tanner Faust is now down to 3.7 seconds. This is game on. It's not Arpin's yet.
Certainly isn't. He's also got Mitchell right there back behind him as well. So this is going to get exciting.
We want to continue to watch that time because Arpin's being distracted. He knows that pressure's coming from Mitchell DeYoung, as Colin Brown just mentioned. This is the car to watch, though, for Andretti Rallycross. What's the gap now? It's down below 3 seconds. Tanner Faust is in with a shot of winning this final.
Probably one of the best positioned as well. He's got no one ahead of him to race with or slow him down. He's got some clear racetrack, put his head down, try to close that gap up, and hopefully, on his sake, Joker into the lead.
What a great comeback from Tanner Faust. Now, keep this in mind too, when he won the first of the doubleheader in Connecticut a couple of weeks ago, he tied his Andretti teammate Scott Speed for 12 wins in his GRC career. That is a record-equaling accomplishment. If Tanner Faust could get this victory, he would go to 13 and have that record all by himself. 2 laps to go. And Faust must use that Joker lap, not only as to be good with the rules, but if he wants a shot at winning.
Well, and now the trouble is he's caught Dijon here. Got the gap down so close, you don't want to be held up too long behind this car. So I'm going to guess you may see him Joker lap early.
Behind these top 3, Chris Atkinson sits 4th. Austin Dine is up to 5th. Does Tanner Faust take this Joker this time around, or does he save it for the end?
Saving it for the end. Look at how that dirt just bounces these cars now.
And Faust is forced wide. He's trying to get past the Honda. Oh, look at this. That's what's called proximity reinforcement. He gets tough there with Mitchell DeYoung, and he gets by, throwing this Volkswagen Beetle all around the place. And the gap last time by was 2.6 seconds. So he has got time on his side. He can win this race.
Certainly what Steve Arpin wants to see in his mirror is these guys racing back. And this is going to be the big decider right here. This will be interesting.
This is it. The checkered flag is at the ready. You get about 3 seconds and you've got the momentum. Is he close enough? He's not. He got a little too sideways. Steve Arpin's going to win it home. Wow. Perfectly to script. Ontario's own Steve Arpin wins. There was somewhat of a questionable start. Ontario's Steve Arpin victorious. His 3rd Red Bull GRC career win. We know that, and Faust was on the podium. And speaking of podium, what about Mitchell DeYoung? That is his 2nd podium in succession. So in Connecticut, and now here in Canada as well. What a race. Let's hear from the winner.
Steve Arpin, we saw you take your first win of the 2017 season. Now you've backed it up with another win this weekend in front of a home crowd. Is this one that much more special for you?
This crowd is absolutely amazing. This is the biggest crowd we've seen in years here in Canada. To be a small birthday present to Canada's 150th birthday, we have 65 JCB guests here this weekend. This honestly couldn't be better. All my guys, everyone, we got the cutest little boy from Make-A-Wish. This is literally the most incredible thing in the world.
Thanks so much. Congratulations, Steve. You are now the new points leader.
That was somewhat of a surprise to Steve. Are we really? Yes, you most certainly are. The 33-year-old from Fort Francis now leads the series. What did you make of that one, Colin Brown?
Man, that was an exciting battle. Obviously a great start by Steve Arpin, set him up for the big win here.
And it's a big swing the wrong direction for 2-time and reigning champion Scott Speed. Unable to make that final due to an engine change, and loses now more than 40 points to Steve Arpin.